Yeah, superb 5-0 victory this afternoon. Just some of how you feeling?
Tremendous. Yeah, like you've said it there, it was superb. In terms of style of play, like everything's coming together so quickly now. Like, I think that Spennymoor Town game where we look at that as kind of like day zero. Like, that was in 3-4 weeks we were a different team in terms of playing style. Like, the first half was absolutely electric. I think we must have had like 80-85% possession at times, and it's really pleasing. Everyone's getting it. Everyone's moving forward with it. Obviously, the build-up play for the goals was class. Midfield in particular shout out and East. Obviously, Nat and Jazz I don't think Jazz lost the ball all game, despite getting kind of quite a kick in at times. Like that comes with it. When you keep the ball, the other team does get frustrated, but they just kept it together and just, like I say, just played them off the park in possession-wise. And then the key part of that, like we said last week, is like it's all well and good doing that, but if you don't score the goals, but then it opened up the chances, and three relatively early goals did it for us really.
So let's just start with the goals. 3 goals quite early on. Just let me know how you're feeling about that one.
It was key. Obviously, last few games we've kind of scored quite early or scored really late in the half, and scoring early just settles everything down straight away. So I think that gave us a little platform to just keep the ball and maintain possession as much as we did, and it gives everyone that little lift and confidence. Because obviously we've been on the other side of it where we concede quite early, and it gives you a little bit of a kick. But in terms of all 3 goals as well came from great play. We were getting shots from midfield, which we've talked a lot about, which I think last year probably didn't have enough of, having them chances from midfield coming in. And I don't mean kind of like speculative 45-yard strikes. I mean midfield breaking the lines and getting within 18 yards and having a strike. And obviously Sophie's second, I think it was, from Nat striking the ball, hitting the bar, dropping down to Sophie. That's what we need, and the strikers were clinical as well. Like Eve, she's bundled one in, and then she's had one where she's absolutely wellied it in from kind of like 20 yards. That's what we want. And again, the new players were settling in really well as well. Obviously, I've mentioned Jazz, Becca Emery getting an assist. It's all coming together.
Do you think anything changed at half-time, whether that be our approach or their approach?
Yeah, it was clear they came out to try and disrupt us a little bit and try and get in the flow. And again, like I say, there was tackles going into midfield and that kind of thing. But we knew that we had to ride it out. Like we said last week at Hull United, we know that teams are going to try and come out fast to try and get in our faces a little bit. But that's twice in 2 weeks we've had that, and we've not rose to it. And it did get quite feisty out there in terms of kind of the other side. But we just got on with it, kept the ball moving. Obviously, it's better when it's a lush pitch like this. Like, it's a great pitch to play on, and we really gave us a chance to show our wares a little bit.
Obviously, we're top of the league after that result. Just how pleasing must that be?
It's good, but we don't really pay too much attention to it. Obviously, it's nice for the socials and all that kind of stuff, but in terms of inside the squad and inside the kind of team talk, it doesn't really come into it, because it's a game at a time at this point. We're 2 games in. Obviously, I know a few games being abandoned kind of up north, so that's going to disrupt the kind of how it looks for a little bit. All we can do is go win the next game, so next attention just turns to Wall's End, and we just play the exact same style, the exact same way, and we know that teams can't deal with us when we play that way. We've just got to keep that momentum, because we've got to trust that in ourselves. It's our responsibility to keep them standards up, because it's easy to drop when you start winning.
And just finally from me, if I could just ask you to preview next week a little. Obviously, Wallsend away again next week. Yeah,
away again. Obviously, we've had a few away travels. Obviously, this one's a local derby. It's probably our closest local derby. We've played each other loads. Like, we know what each other's all about. Obviously, I think they'll get a bit of a surprise with how we're playing now. Wallsend have got a really class system right through from youth up to reserves, Devs reserves, first team, and they're a great setup, and it's a great feel of a club. But we'll go there. Obviously, playing a 3G, a big 3G, that should suit us. So it's just looking at the opposition, riding out what probably be a first 10-15 minutes, and just strangling the game from there.